Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all doing okay and welcome back to our 100% run here in Might and Magic VIII. Now last episode I mentioned that it's time for us to do something a little bit different. Now let's take stock of the areas that we've been into. We've been into Ravenshore, Alvar, the Daggerwound Islands. In addition, we've been to Garrote Gorge and Murmur Woods. They're not marked on the map because they're not town portal destinations, but they're around here. Murmur Woods to the west of Alvar. To the south of that, we get Garrote Gorge, and of course, we've also been into the Iron Sand Desert. Now, I also mentioned last episode that theoretically we could, we've wrapped up the main obvious quests in Ravenshore and Alvar and Daggerwound. There are a few later game things in all of these regions that we have yet to do, but we've done the starter stuff in those regions. One thing we could have done is we could have gone to, one thing we could do next, but which we're not going to do, but which we could do, is we could go to Garrote Gorge. There are some quests to do there, we could explore. Similarly with Murmur Woods, there's a few things we could do there. We could go into Ravage Roaming. All that stuff, that's fine, but there's one different path that I'm going to take in this episode, and that is, we are going to go into Shadowspire. Now, the main incentive for me to go into Shadowspire before doing all of those other things that I mentioned is that Shadowspire has a training hall where you can train past level 25. That is important because that'll allow us to, it'll allow us to level the entire party beyond level 25, but it's most important for myself, me, me being Alistair, my main character, because we've hit a brick wall if we stay in any of the other places. We could keep doing quests in Garrote Gorge, but we wouldn't be able to progress, and we need to progress because we need to keep boosting our light magic so that we can keep getting better and better stats, so that we can eventually beat the challenge of intellect in Ravenshore. Speaking of Ravenshore, let's go there right now. Let's go there right now. Because we are going to cross over into Shadowspire from Ravenshore. Now, I've got to warn you, I'm going to put this warning, I'm going to put the warning in the description, and I'm also going to put something in the title to describe what's going to happen in this episode. Is basically there's going to be a ton of save-scumming. Now, we've seen this challenge of intellect, which none of us can do just because 200 intellect is very hard to reach, even with, the help of this fountain from the Blooddrop Village. We will need even more assistance if we are to beat this challenge. And speaking of challenges, once we enter into Shadowspire... Oh, whoa, that was weirdly glitchy for a second. Flying around, I think. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. What I was saying was there is also going to be a challenge pedestal in Shadowspire, which will require us to beat a stat check of 200. Now, what challenge we get is going to be determined upon our entry into the map. For the first time we enter, it'll generate a challenge, and the thing is, I want to beat the challenge right away, and in order for us to do that, it has to be either the challenge of might or the challenge of luck. Now, why these two specific stats? It's because we have items that are going to help us beat this challenge. The Berserker Belt gives us 100 might. The Lucky Hat gives us 90 luck. And between those massive stat boosts and Day of the Gods, we'll be able to beat the challenge for our number 1, number 2, number 3 characters easily. With Ithilgor, it'll be tougher, but there is also a way to beat the challenge with Ithilgor. But before we get to that, you may wonder, well, if the challenge is randomly generated, how are you going to ensure that you get one of the 2 stats that you're looking for? And the answer is, of course, lots and lots of save-scumming. Well, hopefully not lots. We could get it straight away. So let's, without wasting any time, go ahead and make our first run right now. Now, I know what the challenge is, so I'm just gonna fly straight to the north. People are shooting us and doing all kinds of nasty things on the ground, but as long as we keep moving, we should be safe from all their attacks. And when we get a challenge of personality, not interested at all. Let us just load our autosave. In fact, I'm gonna load my my start of the episode save, because I did spend a bit of time just, talking and not really doing anything, and I do want to have to not waste that much time when we cross over into Shadowspire. So let's do this again. This time we are flying straight there, and we are going to keep entering the map. Before we enter, I'm gonna make another save, just in case I somehow do some area transition or like a town portal and I overwrite my autosave. Excuse me, if I do overwrite my autosave, I will want a manual save. Alright. So, again, whoa. Excuse me, I'm sorry about what just happened. I think I hit the wrong key and I messed up, I think I hit a number lock and then I didn't realize what was happening. I thought my game was glitching out, but no, I just hit number lock by accident, which meant I couldn't use the controls for flying. Anyway, with that silliness out of the way, let's go back to Shadowspire. I'm gonna have to do a bit of editing to cut out the part where I'm just fumbling around and not realizing what's gone wrong. But yes, if you hit number lock, it'll do some weird things based on, I guess, the keys that the game needs. Once again, we have the annoying challenge of personality. It's the second time in a row we've seen it, which alarms me. I don't think we've entered Shadowspire before, so this shouldn't be already set to that. We should be getting different challenges. But there's a 1 in 7 chance that you'll get whatever you got previously, because of there being 7 stats in total, and 1 in 7 isn't that bad. Oh, and as we see, much to my relief, it was the challenge of endurance that time, confirming that it is indeed generating new challenges for us. Oh, and we need to keep doing this until we get either might or personality. Oh, sorry, no, see, might or luck. Not intellect. We already have a challenge of intellect. What are you doing to me, game? Yes, this is gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while, but not too long, because it doesn't cost us that much time to fly over to the top and check. But we do have to check this before we do anything else, because if it's not the right kind of challenge, then nothing else, none of my other plans for this episode are going to work. So it is crucial that this be one of the 2 challenges that I am prepared to do right now. Okay, let's keep going. We've got a 2 in 7 chance of it being one of the ones that we need, and we have failed many, many times in a row. The number of failures that we've gotten are much higher than you would expect if you had a 2 in 7 chance of getting it right. Like, you would have expected that we'd have at least 1 hit by now. But you know what? I've learned to just not have any expectations when it comes to RNG. Oh my god, okay. You know what, let's just... Oh. Need to actually make the transition first before we cast flight. Oh. Once again, I think I was accidentally about to hit number lock. Alright, let's just try and keep our wits about us. Let's not let this horrible RNG get our morale down, because, you know, sometimes you've just gotta be persistent until things end up going your way. That's just a lesson that we all learn about life eventually. And the same is true of video games on occasion. Hey, here we go. Challenge of luck. That's perfect. Alright, now what I'm gonna do is... We're gonna, well... One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat the challenge with my main character. And my main character, i.e. myself. First, without doing it for any of the others. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly back to town. This might seem like bizarre behavior, because, you know, we could easily win the challenge for the others, but it's not really relevant, because whether they get 10 extra skill points right now or 20 minutes from now doesn't really bother us too much, but whether I get extra skill points very much does matter, for a reason that will soon become apparent. But before we do that, let's get even more skill points by yoinking these horseshoes. Fantastic. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these to myself, and in addition, I'm going to go to the Assassin's School, which is the training hall in Shadowspire, and I'm going to gain...
Very good.
Well, I can only gain 1 level. Shucks. Which is only enough to train once. Only enough to train once. But even that 1 extra level that we got, I don't think we would have gotten it if we hadn't gotten both the plus 10 plus the plus 4. Because that would have, if we remove 14 from this, it would have put us at like -1. So like, yeah, so we definitely needed that in order to train. Next thing we need to do is we need to find the well in the center of town. We need to drink from it. And this is going to give us intellect permanently. And we could have gotten a bit more out of this if we... I think we gave a few intellect barrels to my character. You know what? Let's take that stupid hat off and pass it on to the next character. We could have gotten some more intellect points spread throughout the party if we'd been more efficient with our stat barrel allocation, knowing that we'd have this well that only gives you stats if your stats are low. It really doesn't matter. We'll give it to everyone who needs intellect. I don't know why I'm painstakingly clicking one by one. I guess I just... Like, I could... Why aren't you... Oh, your intellect is already at 17. Okay. I was like, why aren't you gaining intellect? But that's fine. Okay, now what we can do is we can run around and just drink up these stats, which honestly I'm going to give only to my main character. Everything I see is going to go to me and me alone. The reason is because for the purposes of my completionist run, when it comes to beating the stat challenges, the only requirement that I have is that my main character be able to beat all of them by the end of the game. And giving him all of the stats basically ensures that, you know, he'll have a bit of a head start. So even if some of the other characters are unable to... by the way, this is the central... not dungeon, central fountain to drink from. To town portal back here once you leave. And drinking from it while you have less than maximum mana will restore your mana, and then that will also put the note for that in the fountain section in the journal. And here we're being told that it restores spell points. If you don't get the effect to trigger, like for example if we'd had Elspeth drink from it and all it said was refreshing, then that note would not show up. Okay. I think we've gone around and grabbed all the barrels. Okay. But yeah, so it'll be easier for our character, my main character, it'll be easier for me to beat the stat challenges if I just stack all of these small stat boosts on me. But in the long run, when our light magic gets high enough, and especially once we, number one, get an item that boosts light magic the way this amulet boosts dark magic. I really wish this was a light magic amulet. But the moment... let me move that as well, just to make sure everything's a bit organized. But like the moment we find those, like, first of all, find something that boosts light magic, and number two, advance the main plot enough that we get to Regna and become grandmasters in light magic. At that point, it'll be irrelevant, because through Day of the Gods alone, we'll be able to give 200 skill points, basically on command, to any character, no matter how low their stats were to begin with. But for now, you know, this +2 is gonna... it'll help us out a little bit, maybe help us beat these challenges slightly earlier than otherwise we would have been able to. Okay. Now, before we fly back and win the challenge with these other two, because I am going to do that, there's one extra bit of save-scumming that we need to do is... First of all, let's cast a Day of the Gods, right? And let's see... Do we have anything that temporarily boosts luck? I don't think we do. What is your luck at? Ithilgor, your luck is at 99. Can we get your luck up to 100? Or like up to 200? We would have been able to, but you can't wear the lucky hat, number one. Number two, you can't wear the belt of luck. You can't wear any helmets. So we're gonna have to do a couple things. Well, if we give this to you, then we need 97, which is unfortunate, because it means, well, first of all, let me save my game There's there. Let me save my game here, because there are two different things that we need.
Welcome to my
First of all, we need a luck boost with the highest possible power. Now, without paying attention to what type of potion these are, just look at the power alone. The way this shop works is that the power will vary in multiples of 4, and the highest that it can go, as far as I can tell, is 32. So what we are going to need is a luck boost potion with power 32. And that is what we are going to do a whole bunch of saves coming for. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to keep loading my game.
Welcome to my laboratory.
Until we get if I don't see a luck boost, I'm not even going to bother to see what the strength was. I'm going to keep doing this over and over again until we get a luck boost. Not quite. Until we get a luck boost with power 32.
Welcome to my laboratory.
That is a... Oh, what a piece of garbage. That is going to be something... whoop. I'm hitting all the wrong keys today. Accidentally muted my game. But
welcome to my
not
laboratory.
Too bad. 24, come on. Eventually we will get it.
Welcome to my laboratory.
What would make for a very difficult decision is if we got one with power 28.
Welcome to my laboratory.
Because that would be so close to what we need, but not quite, but enough so that we could make up the difference via something else.
Welcome to my laboratory.
Alright.
Welcome to my laboratory.
What I'll probably end up doing is, and I will have already done it, is I will put an annotation. Two different luck boosts, but neither of them were good, and they don't stack. Like, you might be thinking, what if you bought this 24 and this 12 and gave both of them? No, they don't stack. Only the higher one will have its bonus count. So what I will have done is I'll have put an annotation when we're starting this save-scumming process to let you know when we finally get the thing that I've been looking for. I am in this for the long haul. I am prepared. Ooh, now this is interesting. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we'll buy that. I'm gonna save, not here, but I'm gonna save, and just to make sure I don't overwrite a save I don't want, I'll save in a different slot. You know what? Let's make a whole different save. Let's call it luck 28. So now the thing about... Here we go. Did I just not see this barrel? Or did it materialize from the heavens as a gift from the gods, right when I needed it the most? So, if you're wondering why I'm being so dramatic right now, it's because I'm actually going to save here. I'm going to give this to you. That puts you at 101 luck. And now if we give this to you, you are at 185. which means all we need to find is a combined total, and we can give this back to you as well, a combined total of 11. Now, that 11 will have to come from rings. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to load this game, because we don't want to give you the potion just yet, just in case. Just in case it ends up,
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
just in case it ends up, what am I saying? Just in case it ends up expiring, because it only lasts a certain amount of time. 30 minutes per point of strength, so no real danger of it expiring, but just, like, why even take the risk?
Cheese pick.
Now, this shop, unfortunately, every time we... Oh, I'm gonna have to do this again. Every time we, by the way, the reason I'm giving these permanent stats to him is that we've already beaten the luck challenge, so there's no real need. It's only Ithilgor who needs the extra help. So now let's save it here.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
Let's see if we can find like a good thing that boosts luck. And remember, it has to be either like a better amulet than the +4 that we have, or a ring of any kind, and then we can stack multiple rings. I'd rather it be a ring. Alternatively, we could get really lucky, because this guy occasionally also sells... also sells potions. So we could get really lucky and just simply find a power 32 potion.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
Like, for example, he's got a whole bunch of potions here. But none of them were luck boosts. One downside, though, is that each time
Selection
we
of
leave
heirloom
without
artifacts.
buying anything, he's gonna insult us. Because he's a douchebag, I guess. But we don't mind. We just need a couple items.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
Sanity is a good enchantment. I actually like it, but I think there's an enchantment called Off the Unicorn, which gives plus 15 luck. So if we found that, that would just be, you know, it right there. That would be all we needed. But I don't know if maybe that enchantment is
Selection of heirloom.
too high of an enchantment to appear in this shop. Maybe. Maybe. The enchantment strengths in his standard selection are always weaker.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
So it's almost not even worth looking. Like, even if we found luck there, it would
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
it would not be enough. See, we keep finding off the troll. I guess, oh, hey, this is interesting. But not interesting enough, because this gives us an extra +3. It's an amulet. It doesn't stack with our current amulet. It would replace our amulet, which is not good. That small thing, like, I think he says something like cheese-bearing skinflint, which is his insult if you don't buy anything.
Selection of
But of
heirloom
course,
artifacts.
while save-scumming, I want to be as quick as possible, so I'm not going to give him time to, you know, insult us properly. Of course, I'm going to quit and load my game before he's even done talking. I mean, like, if he's going to insult it, like, he can't expect us to
Selection of
just
heirloom
stand there calmly. See, here's another good enchantment. 15 endurance and 5 armor. So surely of the unicorn is on par with this, but we're not finding it.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
This is just...
Cheeseberry
Oh.
skinflint.
You brute.
Once again, I accidentally muted my game.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
Don't know why my... Ooh, now this is another nice one because it's plus 10 to 2 different stats. But not the stats we're looking for. So, probably gonna have to say no to that. Boots of Luck, unfortunately, cannot be worn by the dragon.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
Vigor, oh, endurance plus... That would have been nice if it was luck instead of endurance. And some nice enchantments, just not the ones that we're looking for. We're gonna keep at it
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
because we are going to do this. We are indeed going to do this.
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
I don't know why he's getting so upset. Like, it's his fault
Selection of heirloom
for not having the thing we need in stock, right? Like, you can't... Ooh, another good one. But it's an amulet. I'd rather have that on a ring. Ooh, luck plus 7. I think we're getting somewhere. Please let there be something. There's nothing. But I think maybe...
Come back soon.
And now he's happy. Instead of insulting us, he tells us, come back soon. Alright, now what does this put us at? If I give this to you, and if I give this to you, you are at luck of 112. Okay. Okay. Save, and now let me... Well, before I do anything else, what are you at when you drink the potion? How much more do you need? 4 more. How can we get 4 more? Do I have anything at all that can help? No, only this, which is the wrong stat. And accuracy, that ring is intellect. This ring is endurance. That's more intellect, that's more accuracy. I'm gonna arrange these by item type. The hats, the hats, I was saying the hats can go at the bottom. So what we're gonna do is, at this point we're gonna go back to Ravenshore. And we're going to do some more save-scumming in the magic shops here. I'll save over this.
Rarities from across the land.
All we need is a net of, like a net luck change of +4,
Rarities from across the land.
which will probably come through a lucky ring. Because I don't think we'll find an amulet for sale in a shop with a luck bonus that is that high. I do not think. Now, there is another magic shop right next to it,
Selection of heirloom artifacts.
which also has rings. I don't know, oh, for a second I thought this was all stats, but it's all resistances. I got excited. Wrong stat. You know what?
Jeez.
Rarities from across the land.
I'm tempted to check both shops, but I don't want to lock in both of their inventories. I want to give myself the chance, like, if for some reason we need to come back and save scum at this shop again, because if we open them, if we go into both of them, then both of their inventories will get locked in, and then we'll have to wait 2 weeks before we can
Rarities
do all
from
this again.
across the land.
I'd rather give myself the chance of, if I need to come back and do some more of this with the other shop. Even though I probably won't, but just because I don't trust myself, and I feel like it's entirely possible that I'll have forgotten something.
Rarities from across the land.
Yeah, see, the other reason we don't want to open both, because you might get a stat boost that isn't high enough. And then you'd just be sad if you had no other shops to go to. So what I'll do is if I find a stat boost of like intellect +3, sorry, luck +3, then I'll take it and I'll try my luck at the other shop. Monsters Might. Already.
How rude!
Oh, you've already taken the potion. I didn't realize we'd done that. Okay, so we are on a bit of a timer. We need to get this done quickly.
Rarities from across the land.
Not that we're wasting time, because each time like we load our game, it'll be set to.
Across the land.
You didn't even have any rings that time. It'll be set to this point in time,
From across the land.
and your luck boost should last more than long enough. But let's keep going, and let's hope we get what we need relatively soon. The stats, we are finding stat boosting rings, skill boosting rings, but they're all wrong. They are all the wrong kind.
From across the land.
Gold ring. Wrong stat, although like exactly the right amount, but wrong stat.
Rarities from across the land.
Stone, wrong. Good might enchantment, but again, wrong stat.
Rarities from across the land.
Alchemy, disarming. Very good. Fire resistance, wrong. Enchantments again. Air resistance. Let's just keep going.
Rarities from across the land.
Once again, not what we need. Like it's very difficult to commentate over this, as I'm sure you've probably gathered. Like, have we gotten every single stat except for luck? I feel like we've gotten every single stat except for luck. I'm feeling a little salty.
Across the land.
But you know what? It just means that when we finally get it, it'll be that much more satisfying.
Rarities.
By the way, the insult that she is attempting to hurl at us, but which I keep cutting her off, is out of my shop, rabble. Something like that. But, you know, of course, we're not going to let her say it. Not just because, you know, we don't want to be insulted, but mainly because I want to save time and make this save-scumming session,
Out of
you know, proceed in a at least
rarities from
somewhat efficient manner. Quite a few rings. Ooh, we did it! We did it!
business was a pleasure.
We did it. Alright, now we need to... We're not done yet. A luck of 202. Your luck... We're gonna have to... well, no, actually, no, we're not gonna have to pass the ring we just bought for you, because we have this belt, which you two can wear. In addition to the hat, which is gonna put you above the threshold. So let's go back to Shadowspire. We're able to town portal here because we drank from the fountain. Oh, before we fly blindly, let's cast invisibility. Just so we're able to do this without the enemies bothering us. Now, let's remind ourselves that the challenge was in the northwest part of the map, close to this dungeon. This might be the Mad Necromancer's lair? Yeah, Mad Necromancer's lab, which we're not going to do yet. What we are going to do, though, is a bit of this. Well, let's get it with you first, because I'm paranoid that your buff is about to expire. Although I'm sure it's gonna last like multiple days. Can we check? Temporary luck for 13 hours. Okay, so not as long as I was thinking, but a lot longer than what we needed. And finally, let's pass this along to you. Give you this. You can put that on, you can put that on, puts you at 210, and you get plus 10 skill points. And now what we can do is we can take off this stupid hat. We never have to wear it ever again, and let us never speak of this. Let no one ever know that we had to, even for a brief moment, wear this stupid hat. And people are gonna ask, well, if you didn't wear the hat, how did you beat the challenge? And at that point, we'll kill them. Yes. And that way nobody will ever know. Alright. I'm getting a little bit silly, I admit, but I'm just a little bit giddy at the fact that we beat that challenge. I'm just really happy it's that it's over and done with. And before I forget, let me put it in my notebook. So the first challenge that we've beaten, that feels good. Let's mark it down. Challenge of luck done. We never have to worry about it ever again. And from now on, we can just give luck to like whoever has the lowest luck, which is, you know, the usual smart way to, you know, spend your skill points. Okay, there is one last thing we're gonna do in this episode before we call it good. We're gonna play Archimage. What are the victory conditions? A tower of 100. Because why not get all the save-scumming done in one go? You might be wondering, why would Archimage involve save-scumming? You can just keep playing it. The reason is because I don't want any losses registered on my character sheets, only wins. You might say, well, that's dumb, that's stupid, that's petty. You're correct on all of those counts, but nonetheless, this is one thing that I will not back down on, is that I want to have no losses on my record. Okay. Let's do that. Give ourselves a bit of an advantage. What we can do is, we can do this, and then we can steal his wall. But before we do that, let's play this. Even better time to steal his wall, but before we do that, let's play this. Now we steal his wall. Now we do some devastating damage. Now, this just makes sense. Let's do some damage to him. Let's do this. Oh, he caught up with us on magic. That kind of sucks. Let's steal some of his bricks. Not steal, it just took away some of his bricks, but nonetheless it helps us. Ooh, I think this... Ooh, he's so close to... Oh, what a time for him to get Phase Jewel. And now he's hitting us hard, we're hitting him hard. All of a sudden, this is turning into a slugfest. Let's give ourselves a bit of a wall. A bit of a tower. Very good card to get. Yeah, you know what? Let's keep boosting our tower. I think we might hit 100. I think that's probably how we're gonna win. Although for a while, we could damage ourselves. We could lower our magic, but I'd rather just focus on one win condition. So let's do that. Okay, what's he got in mind? I think we're fine. We just need to get some nice tower cards and then not have stuff like that happen. Some walls will help us. We're getting unlucky. We had a period where we had good luck. We got good tower cards, but now we're just not getting... Well, this gives us a small amount of tower. Let's do that. I mean, sure, I guess we'll get +1 to our tower. Might as well play any blue card that we get aside from that one. We don't want to harm our tower. Sure, I'll do that. The resources are basically irrelevant both for us and for him, because we can all, from now until the end of the game, play every single card, or any card that we get. The only question is, which one of us is going to get lucky enough to get the cards that we need to win? And it should be us, just because we are so much ahead of him. Sure, I'll do that. Okay, that helps quite a lot. That did not help. Ooh, that felt good to play, even though it's probably going to be irrelevant in the scheme of things. Sure, I'll even play Lodestone, which ordinarily is a terrible card, but that brings us even closer. That Dragon's Eye, I don't think is going to help you, my friend. Unless you have some astonishingly good luck. +1. All we need is +1 to our tower, and we've just won. So, no save scumming required. That felt really good. Okay, now I think it is time to wrap this episode up. A strange episode, I will freely admit, yes. We came into Shadowspire, we didn't really do anything at all, we didn't fight anything, we didn't explore. Well, and I had a bit of a thing where I didn't realize my controls were getting messed up. But like once I dealt with that, we ran back and forth through the map. Or rather, we kept loading our save from before we entered, and we kept going in to see what challenge loaded, and we kept doing that until we got a challenge of luck. A challenge of might would also have worked, but a challenge of luck, we were able to work with that. And we were able to beat that with all of our characters thanks to the lucky hat, and thanks to our potion shop, the alchemy shop, selling us a reasonably strong luck boost potion. But even that wasn't enough. We also needed the help of a lucky white barrel, and also a couple luck boosting items like this amulet, this ring, and that ring. And we're gonna straight away unequip all of these just to make sure that our luck boosting stuff is or like our stat boosting stuff is there, so we have it all in one place. Okay. So yeah, I know it might seem like it's not the traditional kind of excitement you expect from role-playing games, but whenever you're doing a completionist run, you will have episodes like this where you're doing boring, repetitive stuff just because you need to get all of the things done. So with that in mind, like with that context, I hope you nonetheless were able to find some enjoyment from this episode. If nothing else, maybe you got some sadistic pleasure watching me load my game over and over again and get frustrated every time we didn't get the enchantment that we wanted. You know, if that's what floats your boat, you know, I'm not going to judge. But in either case, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, you know, do consider leaving a like. And if you're enjoying the series and you think you'd want to follow along, you know, you may want to consider subscribing as well. But in either case, I will once again thank you for watching, and I hope I will join you, or I hope that you will join me in the upcoming episodes as well. So until then, take care.